Well, we continue this conversation. Joining us to discuss the former ANC president's leading of the Soweto campaign trail is political analyst Dr. Zamokuhle Mbandlwa. Good afternoon, Doctor, and thank you very much for your time. Now, as expected, much was made of the former president joining other officials on the campaign trail today, particularly because he's never shied away from criticizing the leadership of the party. What immediately comes to mind when I recall the occasions where he has criticized the ANC is that scathing letter to Paul Mashatile on the party's conduct in Parliament of blocking inquiries. We don't know what eventually came of that matter because it was dealt with behind closed doors, but based on all that he has said publicly, what do we make of the decision to campaign now?
Thank you so much. Good evening to you and good evening to your viewers. I think the main problem now is that many people did not expect the former president to campaign for the ANC. And fortunately, he decided to campaign for the ANC. But also, I think many people were surprised to see a lot of people, a number of people that actually joined him in the campaign today. Because if quickly after I watched him campaigning today, I went to other videos of the current sitting president on where he was campaigning in other areas, such as in Cosmos City. I think 12 years ago he was in the Cosmos City. And the excitement of people when they saw the former president Thabo Mbeki today compared to the excitement of people that were actually at Cosmos City is quite different. Mm-hmm. So I think the ANC has done something which I think was not expected, and many people are happy, especially those who are senior citizens in the country. But also, I'm very concerned about the target of people that are actually canvassed to vote for political parties. At the moment, we have more than 1 million new or first-time voters that have registered. And among those voters, 77% are young people who are younger than 29 years of age. And if you look at the people that were actually at Soweto today, most of them were elderly people or senior citizens. I could see only a few young people who were actually in support of the event. And I think maybe the target should be on the first-time voters and particularly young people. Mm-hmm. But also, I don't think at this point people should be excited about the involvement of the former president in the campaign for the ANC, because he's not a leader of the ANC at the moment, and he have
and with no potential to be deployed into government, because if some are of the view that he would bring that ethical leadership that he speaks of, he's now an ANC veteran. That's the question that some have posed, that there's no potential for him to be deployed into government where he can effect some of this change. So what does it all mean?
Exactly, I agree with you, because he have raised a lot of questions about the ANC itself and about the manner in which the ANC is conducting itself in government. And now he do not have authority. He can only advise the leadership of the ANC, and in many cases he have given advice to the ANC, but the ANC leadership decided not to take his advice. As a result, he even wrote a letter to the deputy president of the ANC and that of the country, but no decision was taken. Mm-hmm. He can campaign for the ANC, can advise the ANC, but he don't have power. Power lies within the leadership of the ANC. They can decide to take his comments or his views, or not to take his comments. Mm-hmm. And now, also, I like the fact that
pardon me, Doctor, for interjecting there, but I just want to take you to your point of the former president's popularity. In as much as you point out that it seemed as though it was a lot of older people that came to interact with the former president, but nevertheless, he has become quite popular in comparison to before. What are we to read into that popularity now? Because even polls constantly say, when the former president speaks, there's lots of engagement even on social media around some of the things that he has to say.
Well, there are two ways. There are two things that I think are the main factor. Number one, those who actually criticized him in 2008 in the conference of the Polokwane conference of the ANC, many of them have actually decided to actually believe in him now. Some of the things that you have said about the former president were not taken into account during the time when the former president was still the president. Now that everything has unfolded, people now are starting to believe that whatever that the former president Thabo Mbeki was saying was actually true. And then also, what become more relevant of him now is that he's no longer in government, he's no longer a leader. Whatever this is saying now become a fact, and he have nothing to lose because he's not leading at the moment. So people are actually supporting him out of love, not necessarily because they believe that maybe he can make some significant changes or impact in the current ruling political party, simply because he don't have authority, he don't have power, he's just a veteran. And we've seen happening in the past, many veterans are not taken into consideration when they are making some comments, such as that of Ubabu Zigalala, Snuki Zigalala.
Now, in his response today when quizzed by journalists, was that they are dealing with the internal challenges, but can also be trusted to deal with society's challenges. But some argue that ours are not just challenges at this point. These are now challenges that have reached crisis point. So the question is, can a party that is seized with its renewal process or transformation process, as he put it, can it appropriately attend to the many crises at this very moment?
It is very difficult because if a political party has some internal contradictions, it's very difficult for that political party to deal with issues of the society, to address issues of the society, simply because they are overwhelmed with the internal problems that they currently have. And I think it will take them some time to deal with the factional issues that they have internally. And I think the national leadership is fully aware that it is highly possible that the ANC might not win overwhelmingly in the upcoming elections. Hence, they even try to mobilize the former leaders of the ANC to support the ANC. So that alone is an admission of guilt, because they understand that based on the challenges of the society, they've actually, in many areas, have not been able to come to the fore and address issues that are affecting the general public. I think that is the main problem.
Doctor, thank you very much for your insights this afternoon. That's political analyst Dr. Zamokuhle Mbandlwa.